Hey guys, today I'm going to review two movies that I saw recently, and I think they are quite good. I don't know how to position myself, maybe like this, whatever. I just wanted to talk about these movies because it's the most recent movies that I have seen that are making like a huge splash on the award season, and I wanted to do a couple of reviews before the Oscars are announced and all of that. So the first one I'm going to talk about, and the one that I saw last weekend, not this weekend but last weekend, was actually Conclave. Conclave is directed. I just looked it up. Right, I think it was Edward Berger, if I am not mistaken, and he was the one on German. I think he's German director. He did All Quiet on the Western Front, the most recent iteration, and that movie actually won the Academy Award for Best Foreign Language Film, which was very well deserved because the movie is actually pretty well done. Although it was kind of boring at parts, but it was very well done. But Conclave is just so different, and makes you understand why this director is like so hot right now, because he just knows how to make a movie, and by that I mean he knows how to create a whole atmosphere around the movie, with the acting, with the directing, with the cinematography, with the sound, with the music, with every single part that conforms a movie basically. And Edward Berger is really good at creating that. He did that on All Quiet on the Western Front, even though I didn't love the film, but he certainly outdid himself with Conclave. Conclave basically tells the story of a priest. I don't remember if he's an archbishop or something like that. He has like a thing, and he is a cardinal. That's what I mean. He's named Dean, which is basically the one that is in charge of the whole process of choosing a new pope, because the pope dies, and so they make the conclave in order to choose the next pope. And there's kind of a mystery, not a murder mystery because no one is killed, but there's a mystery around what the former pope intended to do. But it's also kind of like a thriller, because you are invited into the lives of their life, actually, of the Vatican City, of the Catholic Church basically. And I think that's so amazing because it gives you the perspective of a person that is in such a process, being basically trapped in a building for days on end until they finally choose a person, and that can take quite a long time. Sometimes, some other times is like a couple of days or something. So it really depends, but it's very interesting to see that process from the inside, let's say. And there are other movies that have been that have danced around that thing happening, if you will. But I think this one is very interesting because of the thriller, mystery kind of vibe that they give you. And of course, it gives you a lot of insight into the Catholic Church, and how, even though you are supposed to believe that these people believe in the same thing, God and Jesus and all of that, they actually have different ways in which they believe and in which they apply what they believe in: religion, Christianity, in Catholicism, if you will. So it's very interesting to see that there are different factions and different groups and different points of view. And when discussing any important subject, immigration, women, LGBT rights, all of that, it's very interesting. And actually, the end, I didn't expect it. The end, I mean, what maybe, remembering the movie, I should have seen it, because it was kind of obvious that something relating to the former pope was, something was up there. But I found it very interesting how, what the resolution is. And it creates this like new new possibility basically, because that could happen. What happens at the end of the movie actually could happen. Not, it's not very likely, but it could happen. So it's very interesting. I think Ray Fiennes, I think that's how you say his name, is one of the best actors ever. The Grand Budapest Hotel. He was in the Schindler's List. He was in, he's, I think he has even been like in Paddington maybe or something like that. Like he has been Lord Voldemort. I mean, he has done everything. He has done every fucking type of movie, and he's always fantastic. And he doesn't disappoint in this one. I don't know if he's poised to win the Academy Award this time. Sadly, I haven't seen that movie, but Adrian Brody apparently is very good in The Brutalist, and apparently he's the one that people think is going to win. But I think they should give it to Ray Fiennes, because I mean, Adam Brody has an Academy Award, and Ray Fiennes doesn't have one, and he has the career to back it up. So I mean, it's amazing. All other actors in the movie are fantastic. John Lithgow is very, he's a very conservative, cardinal, and that's very interesting. Stanley Tucci, he's always good. Maybe he should be nominated for best supporting actor. Maybe. I mean, his character is not that interesting, but he does a really good job. And of course, Isabella Rossellini is always fantastic. She's a fantastic actress, such a bright mind. Although I don't think she deserves to win the award simply because it's too small. It's way too small, and she barely even talks. I mean, that's kind of the point in the movie about her role, but I think it should have been a little bit bigger in order to get awards and get really big attention. But this is fantastic for Isabella Rossellini, who is an icon basically. I loved the art direction. The cinematography is impeccable. The score is gorgeous. I mean, this movie is really, really well done. It's a movie, like it's a proper movie, and it's always fantastic to see one of those. The second movie I'm going to talk about is The Substance. And The Substance was released a while ago, like 3 months ago or something, maybe in October, September. And it was released on Mubi, which is actually a streaming service where you can actually find many European, Asian, maybe art house, independent type of films, and it's really good. I have had a subscription in the past. I don't have it right now, but I have had it in the past, and I saw many. I saw like every single Almodovar movie on Mubi. I actually saw many LGBT films and short films. It's really a great way to explore other types of movies instead of only movies from the United States. However, The Substance is there, and it is a movie from the United States that actually I think it's owned by Universal, but Universal somehow didn't want to. I mean, it wasn't on sure, wasn't sure about marketing this movie or something. They kind of didn't know what to do, so they dropped it on movie. And this is a horror, body horror film, which is insane. I mean, this movie is crazy. And I have seen crazy horror movies before, like Hereditary. But Hereditary, I have to say that even though people praise it and love it, I never got it, to be honest. And I think the most disturbing scene in that movie was not even as good as the disturbing scenes in this movie. I mean, Hereditary is nothing next to The Substance, to be honest. I have to be fair there. Although, the acting in that movie was actually very good, but whatever. The acting in this movie, bitch, I mean, Demi Moore, and I think it's pronounced Demi Moore, and Margaret Qualley, this is fantastic work. They deserve all the awards. I mean, there is no justice in this world if Demi Moore is not nominated for an Academy Award for this performance. I know it's a horror. I know it's kind of jokey and like comedy like in some points. It's very minimalistic with its, the screenplay, with the dialogue. But I think what Demi Moore does here is just so raw and so brave and so new and so, you know, just wild. and that is so amazing and so good. And the same goes for Margaret Qualley, who is basically portraying the perfect woman, and it's so good how she does it. It's really well done. Of course, this movie is about this woman that is of a certain age, and people don't really want her anymore on her job. She's a movie star, a TV star, and everyone thinks that she's too old for that. But some in a mysterious way, she finds out about this thing called the substance, which is a substance that you have to inject yourself with, and it helps you create the best version of yourself. The way that happens is insane. Although I had seen a similar scene in Alien Covenant, so it wasn't that shocking or that gross. But the process that it ensues, and you know how the movie is going to go, just judging by her character and the way she goes about in life. It's kind of obvious what's going to happen. Like, that's no surprise, but how it happens and the consequences it has, that's what's interesting in this movie. And I think it's gorgeous that it's such a minimalistic movie. It happens in maybe 2 to 3 sets, different sets, which is I mean, very economical, but also very smart, because that's how condensed and trapped in her mind she is. And you feel her personality and her problems, let's say, in every single frame, with every part of the art direction, of the cinematography. The makeup is fucking crazy. I mean, it's insane. It has to win best makeup in everything. I don't fucking care if it's the critics choice or the Oscars of the BAFTAs or the whatevers. They have to win because it's so good, and the visual effects that are practical, most of them are practical, are very, very, very well done. I mean, at times I thought I was actually watching something that exists, and it didn't. So that's fantastic, and it looks so good. um Everything in the movie is really well done. I have to say that there are parts of the last third, I would say, of the movie, maybe the last half hour, 40 minutes, that is not predictable. It's actually the opposite, but it goes a bit too far. Like, I feel the movie could have been 20 minutes shorter. I think that what happens in the end, I mean, yeah, it's for shock value, and I understand what Coralie Farja, which is the director, wanted to do with the movie, and with the idea she has, and the themes that she's exploring. But I think she could have done that with a little bit less of all of that. You don't have to be that graphic, and if you're going to be that graphic, do it a little bit faster, because there are times in the movie where nothing really happens. So you can actually tweak it a little bit. I think the movie's a little bit too long. I think that's one of the things that I would have changed if I had directed it, let's say. But Coralie Farjad does a fantastic job. I think she also did the screenplay, and the screenplay it's so smart, and it's so minimal, and it's so easy. I mean, it's a movie that it's easy to make, and it's insane, and it's what movies should be, to be honest. Just doing crazy shit. I mean, movies can be about popes, or they can be about crazy people making themselves uglier and better looking at the same time, which is very interesting. And the sound design in this movie, I mean, you will see a scene in the first half hour, and you will know which scene it is, and it's so disgusting, but at the same time, it's so well done because of the sound and the cinematography. I mean, the cinematography in this movie is beautiful. It's impeccable. It's the framing is gorgeous. I think it's so smart. So I mean, this movie deserves everything, to be honest. I know I do recognize again that I didn't like the last 30 minutes of the movie, but even with taking that into account, I do think that people need to watch this at least once. I'm not going to watch this movie again in my life, because it's way too much. I mean, I ate while watching this movie, and I don't advise you to do that because it's heavy shit. But Demi Moore just blew me away. She's a fantastic. It's like Pamela Anderson, which who apparently also has a killer role this year. I mean, 2024. It's insane. I mean, just go look those actresses and look them up and give them chances, because sure, they might be in their 50s or 60s or whatever the fuck it is, but some of them needed chances, better chances when they were younger that they didn't get. Clearly, Demi Moore and Pamela Anderson, for example, were two people that are so smart and so well versed in the world of acting that they should have gotten better roles when they were younger, from the younger age, so they could have a career like Meryl Streep or like Nicole Kidman, like Julianne Moore. I would have loved for them to be like those actresses, but it's never too late, I guess. So I hope this gives Demi more acting roles. Of course, it's going to be giving everything to Margaret Qualley. I mean, she's getting hired a lot now, and she's going to get hired even more after this movie. And all actresses that do things like these that require you to just push yourself and do things that are daring. I love when actresses do that, especially in women, to be honest. Because men, you sometimes feel like men are just given things and they just do whatever they do. And sometimes it's fantastic. I'm thinking like Anthony Hopkins in The Father. That was amazing. He has gotten everything in his life. But what he did there at his age, that was impressive. It was like, wow, that's so good. And I see that in Demi Moore, Margaret Qualley, and Pamela Anderson. And I think more chances are to be given to actresses like that and female directors and everything. This is the proof that you have to give people more chances, if anything. So those are the two movies that I'm going to review. Look very, very, very soon for more reviews. I'm going to watch Anora. I have to watch a bunch of other movies that have been out that I haven't seen. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.